Hello, 8th graders. This is hopefully the last time I'll have to be gone for union stuff this year. I just had some people rebook meetings with me. So I am in the building. I'm just having digital meetings. Okay. Hopefully you enjoyed Chapter 9. Hopefully you weren't too bored by this TED Talk. Here's why I showed it to you. So this guy his essential argument was, listen, we used to have 300 qualified journalists at our paper, and when this wealthy hedge fund bought us up and when we went online, we started making a lot more money because we were on an online platform, but the hedge fund just kept firing us until we were down to 70. This hedge fund didn't have the newspaper's best interest in mind. It was all about the money. So the issue, not the issue in this guy's case, because the newspaper did go online, but the issue with many paper newspapers is that fewer people want to buy ads. So they have less money. People want to buy online ads because that's where society is moving. So what happens when newspapers die, or at least quality journalism, is that news keeps happening. So people start getting their news from Facebook or YouTube. And people stay in their little echo chambers getting their news sources from potentially bad journalism. Or they're getting bad journalism from their sources. So picture this. Here, let me find an example of fake news. So here's an example. Okay. This was published by the New York Times. Now, the New York Times is a famous newspaper. Very reputable. No, I'm not going to pay right now. Sorry. Look at me. I'm not paying for reputable news, but I should be paying. Oops. I am the problem of the death of quality news. Okay, anyway. Fake news onslaught targets pizzeria as nest of child trafficking. Okay, so this story splashed into the internet a couple years ago, and then the New York Times wrote a thing about it. So, days before the presidential election, James Elefantis, owner of a local pizzeria, noticed an unusual spike in the number of his Instagram followers. Within hours, menacing messages like, "We're on to you," began appearing in his Instagram feed. In the ensuing days, hundreds of death threats. One read, "I will kill you personally," started arriving via texts, Facebook, and Twitter. All of them alleged something that made Mr. Elefantis' jaw drop, that his restaurant was the home base of a child abuse ring, led by Hillary Clinton and her campaign chief, John D. Podesta. When Mr. Elefantis discovered that his employees were getting similar abusive messages, he looked online to unravel the accusations. He found dozens of made-up articles about Mrs. Clinton kidnapping, molesting, and trafficking children in the restaurant's back rooms. The articles appeared on Facebook and on websites such as The New Nationalist and The Vigilant Citizen, so like fake news sites, with one headline blaring, "Pizzagate, how 4chan uncovered the sick world of Washington's occult elite." Oh, jeez. So anyway, this guy, Mr. Elefantis, was like, "Listen, I just make pizza." And his pizzeria was getting death threats, he and his employees, because of this fake news. So anyway, I feel like in Sweden you get really good source criticism education in Swedish, to some degree in English. You get better källkritik, in SO than in English. But still, something to keep in mind, people. Quality journalism is worth paying for. Now, to be honest, my question is, okay, so is it really a problem like this guy says? Is it really that tragic? Okay, so he and his newspaper were based here in Denver, Colorado. Oh, no, can you see it? There we go. Sort of central U.S. Nice place, by the way. I've been there visiting friends. Is it bad for the community when a newspaper dies? Well, statistically, yes. People are less informed about local voting. People get their news from less reputable sources. This is actually a thing that's been proven statistically. Now, I must confess, I don't really read the newspaper. So that's why I'm on the fence with this. I usually listen to a podcast, a news podcast, in the morning from a source I trust. So the question for you to think about and write a journal entry about is as follows. Here's your journal entry. Many people say local newspapers are important as watchdogs that keep democracy strong. Do you think it's a problem that so many local newspapers are dying in the digital age? All right, so journal entry, paragraph. That is your homework. So if you don't finish it, it'll be homework. You'll probably be able to finish it this hour, I assume, unless there was another fire alarm. Remember, a whole paragraph or more. That's your goal. I think that's it. If you have any burning questions, you can find me in the building or email me. Remember to click turn in on your newspaper article ASAP. And have a great day. Keep democracy strong, people.